good, y'all, and welcome back to I Do It Myself. So, I am excited today. Reason why I'm excited today is this, right? I was taking my daughter to school this morning, and when we about to get out the car, she's like, yo, Dad, you know Tyler dropped his album today? And I'm like, oh, he did. I actually forgot that CHROMAKOPIA was on the 28th, and today was a Monday, and it's the 28th, and all of that cool ish, you feel me? But I was really excited. I'm super excited because if you know anything about me, you know how much I care about Tyler, the Creator. In a world of apologies, beefs, and murders for hires, Tyler, Creator stands out. You feel me? And today, I'm going to talk to you about him and this album, CHROMAKOPIA. So, in order for me to really give a proper take on something like this, and it's very early, but I believe in two things. I believe that if you could call something trash instantly, you can call something fire instantly. Doesn't work the same way with classic, but I do believe that if you like something, you genuinely like music a lot, at the first listen, you can tell everybody how much you like it. Now, I'm not going to throw the C word out there, right? But at the same time, this is how I really feel. You know, so yeah, like let's talk about it, yo. Let's talk about it. In order for you to understand why I like Tyler, Creator, so much, we got to go all the way back to Bastard. Now, back in 2011, I think it was, you know, Tyler, Creator, and for the people that might not know, he's come a long way from when he ate the roach. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think of the shock value of Tyler, Creator when he ate the roach and all of that in the Yonkers video. But going back to Bastard, I said this to Tyler when I met him. When I first met Tyler, the Creator, last year, this is not on video, but I was basically telling him how for all this stuff that him and his friends was doing, how it was like they was wild kids, that they was just hanging on Fairfax, skating, riding bikes, doing a bunch of BS. That's what I wanted to be when I was a teenager. So when Tyler came out, I was around 27. I'm now 41. But at that time, his music really embodied the life, or like the aesthetic that they had embodied the life I wanted to live. My best friend was going down to Soho and chilling and kicking it while everybody's down there skating, doing graffiti and all of that. And I'm the one sitting in the hood talking about some, nah, it's gay dudes down there. I ain't hanging out in Soho. That's what my mindset was when I was younger, right? But listening to this album or this mixtape, whatever you want to call it, Bastard, I'm going to call it a body of work. What it showed me initially is that Tyler understood concepts. He understood how to conceptualize something and put it down. Now, Bastard is him, you know, basically sitting down with a therapist. I mean, he's acting as the therapist, but he's sitting down with the therapist or whatever, and he's basically, you know, telling the therapist things about his life. The whole Bastard, you know, theme was built off of, I believe, him not having his dad in his life, right? So there we go, we go there, right? Then you get into the, what was that? Goblin, that comes after that, right? And Goblin is another album that I feel like, you know, was very, very well put together, right? A little bit longer, but well put together. And one thing that I realized about Tyler is that he's a student. He's a student of Pharrell. He's a student of Kanye. So he's gonna make these extra, you know what I mean, these extra long songs and have like different intros and outros. And one of the things that I love that Tyler does is he always has this shit that he does when he throws like some random like R&B bridge into one of the hardest beats like N.E.R.D that's on this album, which we gonna get to that later, right? But Tyler, I mean, when you look at just some of the stuff he followed, when he went on the Wolf album and he did, you know, I effing Hate You, you know, and he did the whole Dollhouse theme, and he had the, you know, it was basically him in makeup, and everybody was excited for that. I ain't gonna lie, Beamer, that joint had, Beamer had Twitter in a frenzy when he dropped it, because it was the first time in a long time we got like somebody that we felt was N.E.R.D. baby, a N.E.R.D baby, you know what I'm saying, a Neptune kid, and was really displaying it. But, you know, Tyler, you got to be thankful for artists like Missy Elliott, who's colorful and vibrant and did the same, you know, kind of theme in the video. Well, not kind of, but did the same thing with Beat Me 911. So that was another instance when I seen that Tyler really, really, really understood the importance of influence, the importance of studying, the importance of like making and composing music. Now, I think that album, yeah, I effing Hate You, that was on Wolf, right? I skipped over Cherry Bomb, I believe, but Cherry Bomb is another one. I think Cherry Bomb, it was kind of like his Yeezus, you know what I mean? Cherry Bomb was kind of like his Yeezus. every Tyler the Creator album is experimental. Every album is experimental. Don't think you're ever gonna hear one thing from the last that you can compare to this that's like it's like that. Now you might get a little bit of reminiscent, because I do get a little bit of reminiscent when it comes to the hard beats that's on CHROMAKOPIA, but honestly, he always changing it up. No matter if it's the look, no matter if it's the feel, no matter if the color schemes, the fonts, whatever it is, he's always changing it up. And he did that on IGOR. When I was on Everyday Struggle, you know, I said that IGOR was gonna be one of the top 100 albums in the 2010s. And I got laughed at for that. You know what I mean? I think Ack might have laughed at me for that. A few other people just in the comments, they was like, yo, what are you talking about? But I think that, see, I had been on Tyler Creator's music for so long. I was going to the Odd Future website and I was downloading everything from Mellow Hype to the Earl tape to what's the other joint? To Mike G. I was fully ingrained. Damo Genesis, which is it No Idols? I think it's No Idols with Damo Genesis and Alchemist, one of the best tapes ever. You feel me? But as I'm starting to see Tyler progress and progress and progress, he, you know, starts speaking more, because when he first came out, a lot of people was like kind of off him because he really wasn't into explaining what it really was with his music. He was just like this wild kid just saying crazy slurs and having crazy lyrics, but he wasn't giving that much depth. And I think that by the time he got the Flower Boy, and this is before IGOR, but by the time he got the Flower Boy is when he really figured out how to not only make his core audience happy, but also make shit for like mainstream. You know what I'm saying? When he got the Flower Boy, I feel like that was the joint. And again, like what really like makes me love his music is the bond that I have with my daughter over it. I'm sitting in the car one day and I'm playing Tyler, and I hear in the back, "Can I get a kiss? And can you make it last forever?" And it's not me singing. I turn around, it's my daughter, bro. When I tell y'all, I started bugging out because I was just so happy that it was something new that me and my daughter could bond over. Well, it wasn't new, but it was something that she was into that I didn't know she was into. And then she was in the IGOR, this, that, and the third, right? So time goes on, things pass. I host you know, Camp Flog last year. And when I host Camp Flog, when I tell y'all, man, this was like a dream come true, because I had never gotten a chance to meet Tyler. One of the things that I really enjoyed about what I enjoy about Tyler and his music is that he doesn't come from this place of like, he comes from this place of confidence. His confidence can get mistaken for arrogance a lot of times, but it's the confidence in what it is that he does. Like when he says stuff like, yo, I ain't never had anxiety, I ain't never felt like second guess myself, I always knew I could do it. Like that's not stuff that I've actually felt. So that confidence in the music is what makes me really love his music. And then we got to talk about Call Me If You Get Lost. Call Me If You Get Lost. Gangsta Grills with DJ Drama. Me, Gia Peppers, and Rob Markman at the Dreamville stage telling DJ Drama that they won the Grammy for Rap Album of the Year, because Tyler had won a Grammy, I think, you know, a couple years before for IGOR, and he basically felt like it was a, you know, a consolation prize. It was like, oh, like he said it like, oh, give the you know what I mean, give him something. And he wanted to win Rap Album because IGOR is so different. There is a little bit of rapping on IGOR, very, very minimal, but it's so different than anything Tyler's done. And he wanted to get, you know, earned for what he was trying to do. Now, when you get to Call Me If You Get Lost, Call Me If You Get Lost is like, man, it makes me think about Pharrell's In My Mind, how colorful it is. And when I mean colorful, the different beats, the different features. You got 42 Doug on there. You know what I'm saying? You got NBA Youngboy on there. You got Fannie Hughes. You got Brent Fayez. You got Wayne is Wayne? Yeah, Wayne is on, you know, Call Me If You Get Lost. Damo Genesis. Like one thing I like about with Tyler's music is he takes his time to get it right. He doesn't rush it. He doesn't, you know, get caught up into the gimmicks of what's going on in the world. He does his own thing. Now let's talk about CHROMAKOPIA, right? So when I seen, you know, CHROMAKOPIA, I see the mask, I see the hair. I'm like, yo, the army, like basically soldier, you know, what was it, like an army plane? You kind of don't know what to expect, right? But I take a listen to this album earlier today, and when I listen to it, I'm like, damn, bro. This kid just, he don't, I'm not going to say he don't, because you don't want a person to lose at all. I'm not saying that. But he takes so much time. For everybody who complains about music, if you complaining about the shit that's out, oh, it's only drill, or it's only this, or it's only that. If you love music, just music in its totality, especially rap, this album is for you. And this album, I think, it's not just this album. It's this album put together with all of his other bodies of work, put together with his creativeness, doing Camp Flog, Gnaw, doing, you know, Golf LaFleur, you know, his fragrances, his sneakers, collab with Louis Vuitton, with Pharrell. All of the things that Tyler's done is we have to start moving him into different conversations. He's been in a different conversation for me during his whole career, but we got to start moving him into different conversations, up in the ranks when it comes to rapping and just being an artist overall. I think that, you know, Kanye, what made Kanye so great is he shared, right? I'm not going to say Tyler stingy. I ain't going to say that. But I think he doesn't, you know, share what he does with everybody else. Like, I don't think that you could just get Tyler, the creator, to just produce a whole tape for you or a whole album for you or to do your first 4 or 5 singles to give you the sound. Because he spends so much time in like this mad scientist way and lab and way of thinking that you just got to appreciate it. So, yo, one thing you got to expect, a few things you got to expect from Tyler, the Creator's music is, like I said, you're going to have like these R&B-esque feels. You're going to have like some sus bar. Some people expect him to always do this.
Me and Flex looking in the index for buff net niggas just for some hot butt sex.
What made you go with that verse?
I don't.
Some people, yo, Flex, but he's a troll. You know what I mean? You gotta respect the fact that Tyler is a troll. But I think as Tyler, you know, grows older, while he knows he has that ability to troll, he makes this music that just, you know, it gives perspective. It gives perspective. And the older he gets, like on this album, you could tell my dog want to be a father. Now look, I mean, I think he trolling even when it comes to sexuality sometimes. I'm gonna just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? And some people are afraid that even the idea of Tyler being gay, they're afraid to listen to his music. But I tell you, yo, like, his music is just something special. So I want to talk about a few of the songs that's on this album. You know what I mean? And some of them that's my favorites. Like on Hey Jane, right? Hey Jane is a record where he's talking about, you know, getting, it sounds like getting an older woman pregnant and him basically being apprehensive about the pregnancy and her saying like, yo, you good, I don't really need you, I could take care of, like, I got this and this, that, and the third, we'll be all right. So it kind of, on one hand, you like, is this shit really real? On the other hand, you like, yo, is this to be continued, or is it just like a story, right? I think that's the beauty of it. He put something up on his story today, and he said, make sure you listen in full without excuse me, hold on. I'm just excited, so give me a second. It says, make sure you listen in full with no expectations, no distractions, no checking text or social media, letting others paint your thoughts on shit before you get a chance. Thank you. Thank you, Tyler. Because I don't need nobody to tell me nothing about your music, right? But you know, these songs, like he has this other song called Sticky. And I think the most shocking thing about Sticky is it sounds like a homecoming band type beat. Reminds me a little bit of Take It to the House or okay, what's up, Shut Up by Trick Daddy and Trina and them, right? But this record got Glorilla, right? And Glorilla comes in, kills her part. Then Sexy Red comes in, kills her part. And then randomly, the third verse is like Lil Wayne. It's like what's going on, right? But this project, man, I think, like I said, Tyler just takes his time. Now, I don't want to go through every single song because that's just going to take too long. And I want y'all to just go out and listen to this. I'm doing this video not just for people to listen, just for me to tell you to go listen to it, but to tell y'all how I feel about Tyler, the Creator, and his music overall. But my favorite record on this joint so far, because my favorite song is always going to change, is Take Your Mask Off. And it's about people not being themselves. And I feel like that record is so important because he's speaking about like the dude who had pretty much a good life, but now he got his face all tatted and trying to be tough. And he ended up, he says, you know, on the last few bars, says, you ain't a thug, you was in drama club, you was an actor, but now you getting validation from dumb and confused. Now you facing 5 to 10 because you had something to prove. So he's talking about like people who put themselves in compromising situations and get caught up. Then he's talking about, what's the second verse? I think, the second verse, he's talking about a pastor that's gay on the low. You know what I'm saying? Then he's talking about a chick who, you know what I'm saying, has this lavish life, but she's dealing with her own mental issues and she's wanting to, you know, delete herself. Then he talks about, on the last verse, it sounds, I don't want to put no cases on nobody, you feel me? But it sounds like he's talking about maybe a producer or a rapper. I think like Tyler's music is all left open to interpretation for what you feel it is, because he's not going to explain certain things in detail. But like him is also another record where he's talking about his father. Well, he's talking about like his father and being raised by a single mom. And he even has his mom come on there and says, yo, you know, he was a good guy. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be upset at him, be upset at me for my choices. And yo, that record hit me. It hit me heavy because I remember one time when I was a kid, I was about like 15 or 16. I was having an argument with my mom's, and she turned her head and she was crying, and I was like, what's wrong? Like now I'm concerned. I forgot what we was even arguing about, but I'm concerned. And she's like, you look just like your fucking father. And I was like, and she's like, you sound like him too. And I was like, damn. So this album, from top to bottom, I mean, from the intro to the end, is just full of like great music, great sounds, a lot of instrumentation, a lot of beat switches and changes, lots of lyrics, lots of singing. That's another thing. A lot of people don't know that Tyler can sing and he doesn't box himself in. This is why I'm saying you gotta put him in a different stratosphere. Now I wanna get back to the Kanye point because I didn't finish that. But the Kanye point I was making is because Kanye shared what he did with everybody, Tyler didn't. And I think that's what prevents people from putting him into that different conversation. But ultimately, for me, I'm going to make a top 5 eventually. I think it's a top 5 for every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a different top 5 every year, depending on what's going on, depending on what's the climate. And I got to put Tyler in there. I'm going to figure that out before the year is out. But I just want to tell y'all, if y'all haven't listened to CHROMAKOPIA, it is a great body of work. Tyler, the creator, you are a genius, brother. Man, I hope to have a conversation with you again one day about, you know what I mean, the work that you've done. And I'll just take y'all out on this note with me asking Tyler, you know what I mean, about a B-side show if y'all haven't seen this. Camp Flog Gnaw is coming up in a couple of weeks. I think I might be there. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually will. This is how I do it myself. Peace. So I want to see more B-side shows. Would you ever do a B-side show? Because I want to see you one day perform Tina, comb your fucking weave. Like, I'm just keeping it 100. I know it's one of the songs because you always talk about that music. Like, that shit is bad music. Like, I was making anything, but
it's terrible in the sense of like good, but it's awesome because it was true. It was us at the time, and it's energy. And I love all my old music. Granted, it's not good in a technical musical sense, but like it's all relative. So, yeah, I love B-sides. I want N.E.R.D and I want P to do a B-sides. Yeah. I would love Eminem to do a B-sides. Kanye do a B-sides. Jay's B-sides was ill.
Facts.
I would do a B-sides one day and just do all of those like random ones, Best Interest and fucking just the random ones from Goblin, and oh man, that would be ill. One day though, let me just add like one more to my catalog, and then I think.